Have you ever wondered how a zero-calorie, sugar-free beverage can still be a threat to your health? Well, get ready to be outraged because Big Soda has been playing a dangerous game with our well-being.
I'm not stupid. I can read.
You're giving me a headache. If you two can't get along, I'm going to make you eat dirt. And you'll have to wear the onion sombrero all day long. Senor, real Coke taste, zero sugar.
They've skillfully fooled us into thinking that diet soda is a guilt-free choice. But what they don't want you to know is the hidden danger lurking beneath those fizzy bubbles. Stay tuned as I expose the shocking secrets and unveil the truth about how Big Soda fooled you into thinking diet soda was healthy. It's time to break free from that sweet deception and take control of your health. Hello, my fellow truth seekers. Welcome back to my channel where I unravel the mysteries and expose the secrets that corporations don't want you to know. Today, I have a game changer for you, a topic that affects millions of people around the world. Have you ever reached for that can of diet soda thinking you were making a healthier choice? Well, hold on tight because I am about to reveal the staggering deception that Big Soda has played on all of us. Prepare to be astonished as I unmask the tactics and strategies that led to the widespread belief that diet soda was a guilt-free solution. It's time to take a sip of truth and embark on a journey that will forever change the way you view your favorite fizzy beverages. In 1963, Tab was introduced to the market in a distinctive glass bottle with a textured surface and futuristic sparkles. An initial advertisement featured an elegant hand adorned with bracelets. Extending towards the drink while sitting in a peacock chair, the ad posed the question, wouldn't it be logical to feel refreshed with a practical and contemporary beverage like Tab? This marked the Coca-Cola Company's initial foray into the diet soda market, with a focus on appealing to women by offering the promise of body transformation. When Coca-Cola announced that they would discontinue Tab, they stayed committed to their narrative by issuing a press release claiming that letting go of the brand would reshape and streamline their company. This news wasn't surprising considering that Tab accounted for just 1% of Coca-Cola's sales in recent years. And maybe the early 2000s, I remember buying Tab. I definitely think it was a diet soda. And I remember people being like, where did you even get that Tab from? That's from the 70s. I just remember it being a thing, but I think it's gone now. I haven't seen it in like a decade. Throughout the decades, Coca-Cola had invested relatively little in Tab, as it was primarily targeted towards women. The brand eventually adopted a vibrant pink can and relied on heavily feminized advertisements, which limited its appeal. Beverage companies have historically relied on women as consumers of diet products, but they have always desired a broader audience, including men. Even though companies have been eager to boost their sales, they have struggled to imagine a different role for diet beverages beyond promoting the idea of slender women's figures. Consequently, their marketing efforts often failed to resonate with consumers. While Tab gained recognition as a prominent diet beverage, it was not the first of its kind. The first diet drink goes to Diet Right Cola, which was introduced in 1958 by the Royal Crown Company. Diet Right was initially created as an option for individuals with diabetes and others who needed to limit their sugar consumption. Initially, it was stocked alongside medicines rather than being categorized as a soft drink. However, the focus soon shifted to cater to the increasing number of people engaged in weight loss diets across the country, as exemplified by the establishment of Weight Watchers in 1963. Recognizing this expanding consumer base, advertisements began promoting Diet Right as a feel-all-right soda. Diet Right, sweetened with xylomate and saccharin, proudly offered the cola flavor experience without the presence of sugar. It represented the ability to enjoy sweet-tasting foods without worrying about the negative consequences like calories, weight gain, or tooth decay. Naturally, the sugar-free proposition caused concern within the sugar industry. In response, Domino Sugar advertisements reassured consumers that sugar provided an energy lift and contained fewer calories compared to typical diet-friendly foods such as apples, grapefruits, and hard-boiled eggs. They even developed their own plans focused on sugar reduction. However, Diet Right advertising fearlessly fought back. Advertisements from 1964 targeted both men and women with captivating statements like "guilty of upsetting the sugar cart? We plead guilty." Have you experienced the taste that has the sugar daddies howling mad? And it's crazy to think that back then they tried to push sugar on people thinking it's healthy. And I feel like a lot of people actually didn't realize that sugar was that bad for you. It wasn't until later. So even in the 70s, there's tons of campaigns promoting sugar as well. Sugar producers had valid reasons to be concerned. In 1958, diet options accounted for less than 1% of total soft drink sales. However, Diet Right quickly made its mark and became the fourth most popular soda within just 18 months of its nationwide introduction, revealing an untapped market. The sales of Diet Cola skyrocketed from 7,500,000 cases in 1957 to over 50 million cases in 1962. This surge in demand prompted competitors to enter the market with their own offerings. In 1963, Coca-Cola launched Tab after extensive work on Project Alpha, their mission to create a diet soft drink. In the same year, Pepsi introduced Patio, which was later renamed Diet Pepsi in 1964. Coca-Cola's Fresca also joined the party in 1967. These sodas were not exclusively targeted towards women consumers. For instance, Diet Right aimed to appeal to women, men, and children, simultaneously highlighting that consumers valued its delicious flavor just as much as its low-calorie content. This positioning made it a suitable beverage for health-conscious families. A 1960s ad campaign posed the question, "Who's drinking all that Diet Right cola?" Accompanied by images of women holding empty cases of Diet Right in a pleasantly perplexed manner, implying that their husbands and children had consumed it all because it was undeniably the most enjoyable cola. In 1969, Diet Right television commercials featured famous personalities such as Twiggy, Lena Horne, and John Havlicek from the Boston Celtics. Thin celebrities specifically chosen to emphasize that they clearly don't need to diet, further highlighting Diet Right as a drink that was so good that even non-dieters embraced it. Fresca, the citrus-flavored soda, also took a similar approach by advertising to a wider audience. Its initial campaign focused on highlighting its refreshing and frosty taste, describing it as a blizzard of flavor. In comparison, Pepsi introduced Patio, specifically targeting women. Early advertisements featured Debbie Drake, a television fitness personality, dressed in a collared leotard, emphasizing Patio Diet Cola as being great to your waist. This gender-specific approach aimed to appeal to women and their desire for a beverage that could contribute to their waistline goals. Throughout its existence, Tab predominantly aimed its marketing efforts towards women, promoting messages centered around weight loss and traditional ideals of feminine beauty. One of its campaigns, known as Be a Mind Sticker, which may be viewed as unsettling by contemporary audiences, encouraged women to consume Tab in order to remain memorable to a man with an unforgettable figure. While this campaign perpetuated societal pressures and body shaming related to patriarchal ideals, Tab's marketing approach also emphasized the taste of the beverage. Other advertisements raise the question, how can something with just 1 calorie taste so delightful? Furthermore, billboards boldly proclaimed, Tab offers a superior taste compared to any other Diet Cola. And let me know in the comments below if you ever had Tab. Did you drink it in the 70s? I'm kind of curious. In the early days, diet sodas that used a combination of cyclamate and saccharin did manage to replicate the taste of sugar. However, the FDA prohibited the use of these chemicals in 1969 due to laboratory research on rats, which suggested a connection between the substance and the formation of bladder tumors. As a result, most diet sodas had to be reformulated, leading to beverages that were still sweet but not quite like real sugar. So isn't that funny again that they release something to people and then later they find out, maybe this isn't so good and maybe we shouldn't be putting it in stuff that people are drinking because it causes cancer and other things. Like, I feel like this is a common thing. And despite the ban on these chemicals and subsequent reformulations of many diet sodas, Tab continued to garner a devoted following in recent years. Fans of Tab have used various words to describe its flavor, including terms like crisp, clean, citrus-like, and nostalgically tart, with a hint of bubblegum. On the other hand, some have described it as very, very sweet, with an aftertaste of furniture polish. Unlike options such as Diet Pepsi, Tab was not a mere imitation of another beverage. Tab drinkers argued that since it wasn't a zero-calorie version of a regular sugary drink, it had a distinct chemical taste that provided a departure from the artificially sweetened diet sodas that dominate the market. Tab stood as an original diet soda, not attempting to replicate anything else, and remained a popular and best-selling beverage for several decades. Coca-Cola now portrays Tab as a cultural icon in the 1980s. But the reality is that the decline of Tab began during that time. When examining Tab's history, the drink is often referred to as a stepchild and clinging orphan that was essentially kept alive on life support and gradually pushed closer to potential extinction. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, Tab attempted to appeal to a broader audience, including men, with slogans like the beautiful drink for beautiful people, but these efforts did not yield significant results. However, Tab's advertising campaigns in the 1980s specifically targeted women using slogans such as Tab's Got Sass and Body by Tab. These campaigns featured slender women wearing leotards and swimsuits, aiming to capture the attention of female consumers. In contrast to Tab's strong association with a female demographic, Diet Coke aimed to attract both male and female consumers, particularly those who embraced a health-conscious, fitness-oriented, and appearance-focused lifestyle.
What's that cool going down? What's that chill rushing through you? What's that that takes your breath away? What's the taste of real refreshment? That's the real of Diet Coke. Just for the taste of it, Diet Coke.
Prevalent in the 1980s yuppie culture, Coca-Cola executives recognized that men might be less inclined to purchase Tab due to its association with being a diet drink and years of heavily targeted advertisements towards women. However, they believed that men might be more receptive to trying Diet Coke, especially since it was marketed as initially low-calorie. Despite the awareness that launching Diet Coke in 1982 could impact Tab's market share, Coca-Cola proceeded with the launch. Initial advertisements for Diet Coke declared, "You're going to drink it just for the taste of it." And by the end of 1983, it became the top-selling diet soft drink in the nation. And I used to love the Diet Coke commercials, I think from the 90s, from the original Batman, where Alfred was drinking the Diet Coke and had like the bat cape on it and stuff. I still remember that commercial from when I was a kid. Despite Coca-Cola's efforts to target male consumers with Diet Coke, the beverage faced criticism and was considered by some men and the broader culture as being feminized in the following decades. From its inception, the development and marketing of diet sodas placed a strong emphasis on taste and flavor. However, in the 1990s, Coca-Cola began to reevaluate and improve upon the formulation of diet soda targeted specifically towards men. This led to the creation of Coke Zero, as Coca-Cola sought to develop a diet soda with an even more satisfying and appealing taste for male consumers. Coca-Cola operated under the assumption that men had a higher expectation for full and satisfying flavor, in contrast to the often disappointing and unpleasant aftertastes that women have grown accustomed to from diet drinks. To cater to these preferences, Coca-Cola sweetened Diet Coke with aspartame.
Aspartame is the most popular sugar substitute in the world.
While Coke Zero featured a combination of aspartame and another chemical referred to as Ace K. The sweetener combination, with its nickname reminiscent of a successful quarterback or even a Bond villain, provided Coke Zero with a sweeter taste and a fuller mouthfeel that more closely resembled the natural flavor of sugar itself. And if I have to choose, I like Coke Zero better myself. I think it tastes more like Coke, and I feel like it has less of like a weird chemically taste. And I feel like there's something very addictive about Coke Zero. Like, I try to avoid it because I know it's bad, but ever so often I kind of just want it. And then I notice when I have one, like let's say if I buy like a 12 pack of them cans, like you have one afternoon and the next day you're like, ooh, that cold Coke Zero in my fridge, and you crave it. I can't explain it. So it's like there's something about it, and you have to really wean off it. Like, I have to avoid buying a lot of them because then I just want to have them all the time, especially if they're cold in the fridge. I think it's like a combination of like the caffeine with the fizz. I just find them hard to resist, even though I know they're bad. So following its launch in 2005, Coke Zero was not the only beverage to undergo a makeover of sweeteners in order to cater to male consumers' preference for bolder flavors. Building upon Coke Zero's early success, other brands followed suit. Diet Mountain Dew reportedly introduced a reformulation in 2006, while Diet Pepsi Max debuted in 2007, and Dr. Pepper 10 was introduced in 2011. These beverages aim to offer a more intense flavor profile and appeal to male consumers seeking diet options with a stronger taste. While Coca-Cola aimed to appeal to both men and women, with the taste of Coke Zero, Diet Coke has embraced its perceived association with femininity through the past 4 decades. In the 1980s and 1990s, Diet Coke commercials featured renowned figures such as Whitney Houston, Paula Abdul, Demi Moore, adding a touch of feminine flair to the brand's image. In 2013, Taylor Swift became a brand ambassador, starring in a series of ads that further emphasized the feminine appeal. Additionally, to commemorate Diet Coke's 13th anniversary, Marc Jacobs served as the creative director for the brand for an entire year. As part of his role, he designed a collection of can designs that he described as whimsical, feminine, colorful, and fun, reinforcing the brand's feminine identity. In 2018, Diet Coke made another attempt to redefine its image and break free from gender stereotypes. Coca-Cola introduced a rebranded version of Diet Coke, without making any changes to the formulation itself. The launch of the new Diet Coke was accompanied by the company's first Super Bowl commercial in 21 years, making a significant step in this rebranding effort. The decision to revamp the brand came after 2 years of research and testing prompted by declining sales in the soft drink market. In 2016, several popular diet sodas, including Diet Coke, experienced a drop in sales. As a response, Coca-Cola executives aimed to transform Diet Coke into a contemporized beverage that would appeal to both men and women, with a particular focus on capturing the millennial market. So maybe millennials aren't drinking it as much, maybe because they're more health conscious, or just, what do you think? Do you guys drink it? Tab has found its way into the hands of some male consumers to find the notion that it is exclusively for women. In the iconic movie Back to the Future, the character Marty McFly is seen ordering a Tab, showcasing that men can enjoy this beverage too. And I love this scene because he goes back in time to the 1950s and he's like, just get me a Tab. And then the guy's thinking that he wants to start a Tab. I don't know. I thought it was so good. I love that movie. The complex and controversial history of aspartame raises questions about the intertwining factors of science, corporate influence, and even potential government corruption. let's dive into the murky past of aspartame, shedding light on its questionable journey as one of the most widely used sweeteners in the world. And for the longest time, I always knew that aspartame was bad. I didn't really do any major research into it until now. But I kept drinking Diet Coke, not all the time, don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those people that is obsessed, but here and there, I will have a Coke Zero. Aspartame, also known as NutraSweet or Equal, has permeated more than 6,000 products with its intense sweetness. Interestingly, it was stumbled upon by a chemist while working on an anti-ulcer medication, despite its potency being 200 times greater than sucrose. During his employment at GD Searle, a pharmaceutical company that is now a part of the chemical corporation Monsanto, chemist James M. Schlatter encountered a serendipitous incident in 1965. While handling aspartame derived from ethanol, he inadvertently licked his finger to turn a page, unknowingly exposing himself to the substance. Although he was amazed by the sweet taste he experienced, initially there was little progress following his accidental discovery. The findings were reported in 1966, but it wasn't until 1969 that the significance of aspartame was truly recognized. However, it was during the rise of the low-calorie movement in the late 1970s when the potential use of aspartame as a sweetener and the financial opportunity it presented became apparent. In 1980, the FDA initially rejected the approval of aspartame due to concerns raised by a board of inquiry composed of a group of scientists. This board reported that there were potential risks of aspartame inducing brain tumors. This decision was challenged by Donald Rumsfeld, who was the chairman of Searle at the time and later became the Secretary of Defense. Rumsfeld made a commitment to use his influence and connections to ensure the approval of aspartame, vowing to call in his markers to achieve this goal. Leveraging his political connections in Washington, Rumsfeld relied on his influence within the political sphere rather than scientific evidence to ensure the approval of aspartame. Following Ronald Reagan's inauguration as president in 1981, Arthur Hull Hayes, who was appointed as the new head of the FDA and handpicked by Rumsfeld as part of Reagan's transition team, wasted no time in initiating a commission to reevaluate the original disapproval of aspartame by the Board of Inquiry. And just reading this, it made me realize how corrupt all of this is in the FDA. I don't even trust anything that's basically FDA approved because there's so much money involved in corruption that it's just nothing is what it seems. The 5-person panel assigned to the case voted 3-2 to maintain the ban on aspartame. However, Hayes, the head of the FDA, proceeded to appoint a 6th member of his own selection, resulting in a deadlock with a tied vote of 3-3. In a controversial move, Hayes took it upon himself to break the tie and cast the deciding vote in favor of aspartame. Hayes' tenure at the FDA was marred by accusations of misconduct, including allegations of accepting favors such as traveling in the General Foods private jet. It is worth noting that General Foods became one of the early major customers of NutraSweet. After leaving the FDA, Hayes took a position with Burson Marsteller, the prominent public relations firm representing both Monsanto and GD Searle. So that is pretty freaking corrupt. And that honestly shouldn't be allowed. You can't join the FDA, approve something, and then go sleep with the enemy. Several key figures within the FDA left their positions and transitioned to roles connected to companies involved with aspartame. And here are a few of the notable examples. Sherwin Gardner, who played a role in approving aspartame in 1974, subsequently joined the Grocery Manufacturers of America, a major distributor of aspartame, as vice president. Dr. Howard Roberts, who worked closely with the Public Board of Inquiry, later became the vice president for science and technology at the National Soft Drink Association. Stuart M. Pape served as a special assistant to the FDA commissioner from 1974 to 1979, and then joined the law firm Patton, Biggs & Blow, which had close ties with the National Soft Drink Association. Robert A. Dahmer, a trial attorney for health and human services involved in cases related to aspartame, transitioned to a law firm that provided legal counsel to G.D. Searle, the company responsible for aspartame. These instances raise questions about potential conflicts of interest that the revolving door between regulatory agencies and industries they oversee. The events surrounding aspartame's approval and the subsequent career moves of key individuals within the FDA and related industries raise concerns about the prioritization of business interests over public health, and this still is happening all the time with other drugs, like tons of things in the food, everything, you name it. It mirrors a pattern seen in industries like tobacco, which I talked about in a previous video, where financial gains often take precedence over the well-being of consumers. Basically, we're all in an experiment right now. This highlights the issue of overlooking potential health risks in favor of economic potential of a product. This case serves as a prime example of such a situation, and yes, it definitely does. Honestly, I was so shocked after reading this. It just makes me obviously never even want to have a Coke Zero again. The introduction of aspartame into the market, particularly related to diet soda like Diet Coke, became prominent around 1983. Initially, aspartame was utilized in dry food products, cereals, and chewing gum. Sweet and Low, which contained saccharin, had been considered for use in beverages, but its strong aftertaste posed as a challenge. Aspartame, on the other hand, did not have a distinct aftertaste, leading to its selection as a preferred option. In the autumn of 1983, carbonated beverages containing aspartame were made available for public consumption. These beverages, including Diet Coke and other soft drinks, became the primary means through which people would consume this new chemical sweetener. However, concerns regarding the safety of consuming aspartame persisted. As highlighted in a 1983 article from the New York Times, there was still uncertainty among the public regarding the potential health risks associated with this novel sweetener. Despite the reservations expressed by experts and the media, the general public quickly embraced this new sweetener. It provided them with the desired sweetness without the drawbacks of sugar and calories found in regular versions of these products. However, the current challenge lies in the abundance of research that both condemns and dismisses significant health concerns related to artificial sweeteners. On the downside, one of the components of aspartame is methanol, which, when metabolized in the body, converts to formaldehyde. That freaking scared me. Basically, we're drinking formaldehyde. Formaldehyde is known as a carcinogen and has been linked to retinal damage and birth defects. There are also concerns regarding potential adverse effects on the brain from excessive consumption of aspartame. Additionally, the FDA had previously reported on possible toxicity reactions associated with aspartame and even established an aspartame toxicity information center, indicating a level of concern over the years. Even if the risk of toxicity from aspartame is small, these lingering concerns have prompted discussions and raised questions about its safety. And regardless of the health concerns surrounding these artificial sweeteners, the focus should be on the remarkable lengths taken to ensure the release of a new product. It is astonishing to witness the behind-the-scenes maneuvers involved in bringing a seemingly straightforward and commonplace substance like aspartame to the market. And its history reveals a much more controversial and complex narrative that one might initially realize. I think too, they're just hoping, because it takes a long time to really pinpoint the cause of something. So even with smoking, for a while they just kept blaming it on other things. And I think when people get certain dementia or brain tumors and other things, it's hard to connect aspartame exactly to that. Even that happened with the baby powder thing. So unless someone's drinking a ton of aspartame, and maybe in the future we'll have better ways to really pinpoint that aspartame actually caused that problem, I feel like that is why a lot of these companies are getting away with so many different things, because right now it's hard to really have a lawsuit or anything against them, but it is in your hands. Let me know in the comments below. Do you drink diet soda? Do you know anyone that's addicted to it? I am really curious. And don't forget to check out my smoking video. All right, see you guys again soon. Bye.